Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie. Today I have 20 solar light Dollar Tree DIYs for you. So many fun themes for spring, summer, and coastal in today's video. So let's get started with my new solar light DIYs. For this solar light DIY, I bought a mirror from the Dollar Tree. It's actually a pretty nice size, and it's got like a white distressed frame, which I love. And I thought this would be really fun to make into a solar light that's going to be a shelf. Now, it's something that you could hang on the wall. If you're going to hang it outdoors, though, the back is not made out of solid wood, so you might have to replace the back and maybe glue the mirror in. I'm going to make mine like a standing shelf, though, and I'm going to do it with these little wood pallets from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to glue 2 of them together side by side, and that should be the perfect width for this mirror. And I thought this would make a perfect little shelf to put little plants on, and we can use a solar light to light them up. So I wanted to kind of match the mirror. It's a distressed white, so I just went over both the palettes with white, just one coat, so maybe some of the wood will show through and give it that distressed look like the mirror. And this way it can stand up on its own. You can sit it on a table. Again, you could hang it. It does have a hanger on the back of that mirror, but I was really impressed with the size of the mirror. To attach it, I just used some hot glue here and attach it to the frame like this. So that helps it to stand up, and you get a little view of my filming station there as well. And I'm just going to reinforce it with a little bit more hot glue here on the bottom, just to make sure that stays on there. Now my plan is to hang a solar light on there. I found this solar light from the Dollar Tree, which is kind of a unique design for the solar light. I thought this would be perfect for this because it's flat on one side, so I can put that side against the mirror. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the pole on it, but not the stake. And so it can sit on the mirror like this. And the light will reflect off the plants and the mirror. So I think that would be really fun. To hold it, I'm going to use some of the little wood rings from the Dollar Tree. You can use whatever you have that's round. I liked the size of these. They're not too big compared to like the shower rings and stuff like that. So I'm just going to paint these white as well. They are wood. And then I can attach those to the little windowsill there. I thought 2 would probably be better for outside. And they can be just a little holder here where I can actually change out the solar light if I need to. I'm going to put a little hot glue on here, and I'm going to glue it like right on top of the little sill there. So it's glued to the mirror and to the sill. Doesn't have to be super strong. It's just going to be holding it in place just like that. So 2 of them, and that is what it looks like so far. Now for the solar light, we can just slide that right in. Let's go ahead and get started on the plants. I picked up some terra plants from the Dollar Tree. Be careful when you buy these because I've had this happen a million times where some of them have been broken, but I have 2 that are good. And I'm just going to fill them up with a little bit of Spanish moss. And I'm just going to do something really easy with these 2. I'm just going to do some Dollar Tree succulents. This one is a newer one that I haven't used, so it has a stem on it. My other one doesn't, but I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue it onto the Spanish moss anyway. I think it'll work. Just trying to trim this one down a little bit and attach that. This is going to go on my back porch, so it doesn't really have to be too resistant to weather. And then I'm just going to hot glue this down into this pot. And for the third plant, I just found this cute little house plant at the dollar spot at Target. And I thought that would be a cute addition as well to our little solar light shelf. So I can style it for you. And you can always use real plants for this as well if you've got a green thumb. I'm just going to place my little pots here on here, and all I have to do is add the solar light. Mine wanted to turn a lot, so I added a little hot glue just to keep that in place. And I'm just going to slide that into the rings that we attached to the mirror, and this DIY is ready to go. It looks really pretty during the daytime, which I love, and it looks really nice at night as well. So let me show you how it turned out. This is it during the daytime. Isn't that mirror so cute? I was really impressed with the size of it for $1.25. If you can find the smaller mirrors at Dollar Tree, you could make a smaller version of this as well. But this is it with a little shelf on the bottom holding the little pots. I think it's so nice during the day, but look how pretty it looks during the nighttime. It's exactly what I was thinking, where it not only lights up the plants, it also lights up the reflection in the mirror, which gives you a really fun vibe. I love decorating with solar lights. My entire yard is pretty much illuminated. All of my landscaping, my porch, my Florida room, everywhere. I love it. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video, be sure to hit that like button. It always helps my videos do better here on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. For this DIY, I'm going to take one of the large jars from the Dollar Tree and one of their party bowls. And I wanted to see if I can make a mushroom light using a solar light. For the bottom, I wanted something big and wide to make it look like a big, chunky mushroom, like almost like a Smurf house. So I'm using one of the larger jars from the Dollar Tree and just removing the tag from the bottom. That adhesive remover from the Dollar Tree actually works pretty well. And we're going to frost this. I want it to be able to light up, but I want it to have some kind of a frosting where you can't see in it. So I'm just going to use some of the Rust-Oleum spray paint and the frosted glass, and it goes on clear. Really only one coat is all you're probably going to need. I just went in and dried mine with my heat gun, and as you can see, it frosted perfectly on the inside too, so that will be protected from the weather. For the top of the mushroom, I'm going to be using one of the party bowls from the Dollar Tree. You could do whatever color you chose. I chose a blue one. I think it's so pretty. Now it's fluted, but on the inside it's not. So I think I can still do polka dots on here by doing them on the inside. Again, the paint will be a little bit protected there as well. And I'm just using the stencil daubers from the Dollar Tree, one of the large ones, and dipping it in some white acrylic paint and doing polka dots. If you don't get a perfect spot the first time, you can always put the dauber down one more time in the same spot and fill it in a little bit. I'm just alternating up and down, going all the way around and trying to line it up with the spot that's directly across it so that it will be symmetrical and it won't run out of space when I come to the end of it right here. So just giant polka dots there on our mushroom, and that part was so easy. Since it's translucent, that it will be able to light up as well. For this solar light, I'm just using one of Dollar Tree's solar lights. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the top. I'm going to go ahead and take the little lamp off of it. That way it will light up the entire mushroom. And I'm just going to attach mine with hot glue. I've had luck with hot glue in my outdoor solar lights. You could always use a stronger glue like E6000 or something like that if you wanted. And I just put that in the center, and then we can sit this on top of the jar like that. Now, I don't want it falling apart because this is definitely going outside of my landscaping. So I'm going to add hot glue here all along the rim of the jar. And then I'm going to add the mushroom cap on top of it like this. Now you could flip it over and have the bottom of it be open, but I wanted the bottom of mine to be closed and everything to be closed on this project, so I think that's a great way to seal it. This is how it turned out, our giant mushroom. This was really easy to do, and I think it's going to look so cute out in my landscaping with my fairy gardens and all the fun stuff that we've DIY'd here on my channel. I like the fact that I frosted the jar below. I really think that gives a nice effect. And it's still gonna light up at night when I go to light it up. See that cool glow that it gives with the frosted glass? And it also lights up the top of the mushroom as well with that beautiful color of blue. I haven't used the party bowls like this for an outdoor DIY that I leave up all the time. I'll have to keep you posted on how that holds up. But I think it is really cute. What do you guys think about our little mushroom solar light DIY? I think it's really fun. And you could do different colors and shapes and sizes as well. For this DIY, I'm going to turn one of these little purple glasses. These are new. I found these with like the Mother's Day stuff at Dollar Tree, a little lidded cup. And then I chose one of the butterfly jar solar lights. I want to put that inside that beautiful purple glass. You're not going to be able to see the butterfly perfectly, but I think you'll be able to see it a little bit. And then to light up inside, I just want some greenery. So I'm going to use some Dollar Tree eucalyptus stem. I'm just going to cut it into individual pieces here. Can't be too tall to fit in here because I want to make room for the butterfly in there as well. And then we can add that little butterfly solar light to the top. And I'm going to DIY a lantern box with this using a couple supplies from the Dollar Tree. I think that looks pretty good. There's enough room there for my butterfly. I'm going to go ahead and attach this with some hot glue here around the top. I love these glasses. I think they're so pretty. And I thought this would look really pretty illuminated at night with that purple iridescent sheen it has. Now to cover the outside of my solar light and make it look a little bit better, I'm just going to take some burlap. This is one of the Dollar Tree burlap rolls, and I'm going to glue that around the black plastic on there because I think that looks a little bit cheap, just to give it a little bit more texture and fun. I just hot glued mine all the way around and then just cut off the excess. It's way too big, but that way I will get a perfect cut there along the top of my solar light. And this is the solar light part of the DIY. Now let's DIY an easy lantern. I have a wood stake from the Dollar General for $1, and I have 2 of the wood frames from the Dollar Tree. I just got 2 that were the same size that look like wood. And let me show you how I'm going to put this together. This is going to be a really easy lantern. I just pop the little pieces out. It has little bump out pieces and spacers as well. Get rid of all of that. One of these can be the bottom and one of these can be the top of our lantern. This one's going to be the bottom. I just removed the hanger from it, left the bottom in there. I don't care that it has dog print on it. For the top one, I need to open it up so that my solar light can charge properly. So I'm just going to go ahead and bust out the back of that, which was actually really easy to do with just a hammer. Now for the sides of the lantern, I'm going to use this wood stake that I got at Dollar General. Great source of wood. They're in with like the summer, spring stuff. And I'm going to cut this down into 4 7-inch pieces. And then I'm going to put one of those in each corner. So it's kind of like building a table here. I just put some hot glue here on the corners and put my side pieces in. Now, if you want this to be stronger, you could use like a stronger glue, again, like an E6000, maybe a wood glue since this is wood. I'm just going to use hot glue on mine and try to let it set and harden up. And hopefully my Gorilla Glue hot glue will keep this together. So I have a little table there without a top. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that down into this piece. Again, I don't care that there's little dog prints all over that. I'm going to decorate that for spring and summer as well. So I just went ahead and put glue on all the corners and put this in here, letting this sit so that the glue will harden, so it will set up a little bit. You can also reinforce it with some nails or staples if you wanted to. For the bottom, I'm going to fill it up with reindeer moss and also, of course, that jar. So I'm going to glue the jar in place just so it will stay where I want it to be, right in the center. And then I'm going to fill up the rest of it with reindeer moss. If you're worried about your reindeer moss coming out, you could always hot glue that down. I'm just going to go ahead and fill mine up. I think that's fine. And I think that looks really cute. Now for the top, I did want to add a little bit of stability. So what I'm going to do is add a few more pieces of wood. These are the 5-gallon paint stirrer sticks that you can get at Walmart. They're actually really pretty, aren't they? I'm just going to cut down 2 pieces, the width of the lantern, and I'm going to glue these to the top and the sides just to reinforce it and close up the top a little bit, but still allowing my solar light to charge. I'm only going to do like 2 sides of it like that and kind of leave it offset like that. Now it's time to decorate this with flowers for spring and for summer. I got a new toy on Amazon. I did add that to my Amazon shop, linked in the description. It is a hot glue skillet, and I think it works fantastic for flowers and little projects like this. So while that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and cut off a lot of spring flowers. These are the Dollar Tree. They're called Baby Breath. They're just tiny flowers. I'm also going to add a butterfly off the onion grass from the Dollar Tree in pink. I have a little bit of lavender left over. I think I picked that up at Walmart, but you could always use the one from the Dollar Tree. I want to add a few white flowers as well, kind of using some of the scraps I have from other spring and summer projects that I've done on my channel. And then I have some light pink of the baby's breath as well. And I think that looks really good. We can go ahead and start adding these. The great thing about this hot glue skillet is that you can just dip your little flower stems in there and add it without having to get your hot glue. Again, I love it for projects like this. So far, I haven't burnt myself. So make sure your stems are long enough to be able to dip in there. But I think it works great. The only thing I don't like is it doesn't have a lid. So I'm going to have to DIY something just so I don't get all of the debris from my work desk, my workstation out here in it. I don't want to get it dirty because I leave it kind of off to the side. But I just went all the way around and added those spring flowers, the pinks, the whites, the purples. So pretty for spring. And then I wanted to look like a butterfly landed on the top. So I just dip my butterfly in the hot glue as well. And I'm going to attach it here to the top right corner of our little lantern, solar light lantern DIY. And I think this turned out so pretty. I love the colors of it. Let me show you how it turned out. Isn't this so cute? I love it. I love the fact that there's a butterfly on it. There's also a butterfly, attached to the solar light inside. So as you can see, it's really pretty during the daytime. And let me show you how it looks lit up at night. So pretty. I love how it illuminates all of those spring flowers. And you can see the silhouette of that butterfly inside, even though the flutes on the glasses kind of hides it a little bit. But I think this turned out really cute. It was exactly what I was envisioning when I thought about making a spring solar light lantern. Really pretty, huh? I love that one. For the next DIY, I'm going to use a Dollar Tree bottle and one of their little plastic party cups. Now, I thought these were Shore Living, but my store just got some in, and they're not doing Shore Living this year, so they must not be. Mine works just with like the regular vases and stuff like that. It's just a clear bottle with a blue tint on the bottom. I want it to look like water. I'm kind of doing an under the sea theme on this one. So I picked up blue marbles from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to fill those up inside the bottle like that. It's already tinted kind of blue down there, so that works well together. These are just the plastic party cups from the party section, but I thought it would make a perfect little lampshade for a solar light. Let me show you how I'm going to decorate this though. I love how all the blue colors go well together. For the little lampshade, I thought it would be fun to do mermaid scales all over. So I'm just using a white paint pen and just doing a little half circle. Then you start about halfway through the circle and connect it halfway to the next circle and keep going around. All of the little mermaid scales, or it could even be fish scales, don't have to be perfect. As you can see, some of mine are big and some of mine are little, but I was trying to keep that same pattern going all the way down the lampshade. And it got a little bit more challenging as I went, but putting it down like that made it a little bit easier, and I just kept with my same pattern. These are the Posca paint pens that are the little finer tip ones. I love Posca paint pens. I always get these on Amazon or Target. I think I have them in my Amazon shop. They're my favorite. They work so good. I've had so many bad paint pen experiences, but these things are fantastic. They work on just about any surface. For this solar light for this one, I'm going to use one of the solar lights from Dollar General, actually. These are a little bit cheaper. You get 6 of them for $5 in the 5-pack, and they're a little bit smaller than the ones from the Dollar Tree, which is going to work well for this DIY because that little lampshade is not quite big enough for one of the larger solar lights. I just use hot glue to sit it down inside. It doesn't go all the way to the top, so I'm also going to go around the sides with some more hot glue, which normally I wouldn't really like you to be able to see the hot glue on the sides of it. But honestly, with this theme, it kind of makes it look just like water. So I went ahead and glued that in well so that it should stay in place and light up our fun little mermaid lamp. This is what it looks like so far. I was trying to determine if I needed to add more marbles. I did have an entire package for this project, and the answer was yes, more marbles. I thought the marbles looked like little drops of water and bubbles maybe, so I thought that would be a fun effect for the bottle. And then I'm just going to hot glue on the solar lamp. This is going to glue directly to that solar light that we put inside the cup, and I just put that right on top like that. This was such an easy solar light DIY. I think it turned out really cute with our little blue and white mermaid theme. So this is what it looks like during the day. I think that the marbles will help weigh it down, keep it upright outside, and it'll be a great coastal decoration for my yard. I'm really into decorating my yard and exterior of my house this year. It just looks so pretty. I'm so ready for summertime to be here. This is what it looks like illuminated at night. As you can see, the marbles light up beautifully. I love that. And the mermaid scales gave me quite a fun pattern too for the light reflection, as you can see there against the wall. So again, this is during the day, and this is how it looks at night. I think it turned out really fun. It was really easy, only a couple of items from the Dollar Tree. For the next DIY, I found this lantern from the Dollar Tree for $3. I thought this was a great buy. It's made out of gold metal, and it has the glass inside of it as well that I guess you could put like a candle in if you wanted to. It was packaged well as well. I thought the bottom, that part was a cup, but it's actually open at the bottom, which is kind of weird, but we'll make it work. And then I'm going to use a solar light for this one as well. I want the solar light to sit on top like that. The little lamp part can't stay on there, but that's okay. We can just use it without that. So I'm only going to save the top there of my solar lamp. Now, I didn't like the fact that this was silver metallic and our lantern was gold, so I'm going to paint it. I didn't have the same color of gold. I just had this gold metallic. But you know what? We're going to make it work. It's still going to be gold. I just sponged it on with a little stencil dauber from the Dollar Tree, so it kind of looks like a brushed gold finish on there, and I think that's going to work. I also got a gold bee from the Dollar General for $1 that I'm going to add to this project. For the greenery inside the glass, I'm going to use some Dollar Tree eucalyptus and cut down some branches of that. That part will be lit up. And I thought that would be a fun backdrop for that cute little bee. So I'm just going to cut some pieces down, filling up the little jar. And then this is what it looks like so far. I'm going to decorate this and make it look really fun for summer. I thought that the little bee could hang on it. It's a pot hanger, but I thought it could definitely hang on the glass as well. It's got two little arms like that are bent to hang on things. You can hang it straight like that, or I actually end up hanging it just by one arm in the end just to make it look a little bit offset. So this is the little solar light we're going to put on top of it. I thought about removing the handle because I'm not going to be able to use that once I get the solar light on there. But I thought, what the heck, I will just go ahead and leave that on. I just put hot glue on the top of my lantern and put this on here instead. Now, I like the fact that this is a solar light lantern and not a candle that I have to light, so it will be able to charge itself. I was going to add some flowers, but then I changed it up to some of this greenery from the Dollar Tree that has little yellow buds on it. I thought this was definitely more to scale for this project than my larger yellow sunflowers. I thought I could just decorate maybe the two front parts with it. And so I take some floral wire and I'm just going to simply wire this to it. I think this is really pretty. This greenery I found at Dollar Tree this year, they had all different ones. They had ones with like little white berries, yellow, I think even blue. I think maybe even pink. They had all kinds of fun spring colors. And the green wire that I'm using blends in pretty well with the plant itself, so it won't be too noticeable. So I just wire that up the side like that. And again, I wish that that middle section did have, I guess it's because that's just a sleeve for a candle, huh? That must be why it doesn't have a bottom. I'm going to cut off another piece from the other side, but I don't want them to be symmetrical. I want them to be different lengths. So I cut this one down a little bit shorter just for a little bit of variety, and I'm going to wire this to the other side. Now I'm only going to do the two front corners where you can see, but you know what? You could do all four if you wanted to. I just twisted my wire there at the bottom so it's a little bit stronger to hold this in place. And this wire definitely works better than hot glue for something like this, especially something that you're going to be putting outside. I do want most of the leaves to be able to move freely, so I only did like the main stem that I wired to the lantern itself. So I think that looks like a fun backdrop for that beautiful gold bee that we can add to it. And so I'm going to go ahead and add this, try to, without losing all of my greenery that I put inside. Right in the middle, that's all going to light up when the solar light goes to light up. And then all I have to do is add my little gold bee from the Dollar General on front. I'm just going to attach one leg like that and make him look like he's climbing up. And then to help seal my solar light so the light doesn't kind of come out where it's not supposed to, and help glue it on, I just cut down a piece of Dollar Tree rope and then I'm going to go all the way around. I'm gluing this to the solar light and to the lantern itself because I did notice that a little bit of light was escaping there when I went to test this one out. So The rope goes well with the bee theme and it goes well with the design as well. And I just glue that to the top there underneath the solar light. And this is how it turned out. Isn't it so cute? Our little bee lantern for summer. I love bee DIYs. I've done a whole bunch of them here on my channel. They are so fun to create. And anytime you can add some greenery, a little bit of yellow to the projects, it's so cool. But how cool is that cute little bee that I found at Dollar General? I thought that was a great find. Dollar Tree has been a little lacking on me lately, so I've had to branch out and go to some other stores as well. And this is what it looks like lit up. Using that solar light on the top, it shines down and lights up all of that greenery underneath, and then our little bee as well. Isn't that so cute? I love all of the golds, and that lantern from the Dollar Tree for $3 was actually a pretty good deal, I think. Isn't that really cute? I love that idea. Now for my next solar light DIY, I thought this would be a fun party decoration. This would be great if you were doing a luau party or just for summer. They have these great like Tiki Totem water bottles from the Dollar Tree that are different colors. I think that will light up really well with a solar light. Now, just to add a little fun to mine, and since it's pretty tall, I thought I would add a grass skirt to mine. This is just one of the grass skirts from the summer luau section at the Dollar Tree, which my store has set. And I'm just going to go around there with the grass skirt. It doesn't have to be very long, but I did want to use the belted part here just to make it a little bit easier. And I had a leftover one of these little grass skirts from a luau party. I thought this would be a fun idea. So I just glue it to the bottom like a little grass skirt like that. And then I'm just going to trim it off. I can always save that excess raffia for other DIYs. Now that we have the grass skirt complete, the Tiki Totem part really doesn't need anything. It's just going to need a solar light. I went to take this one apart. This is the first time that I've bought a solar light from Dollar Tree that it didn't just unscrew. For some reason, it was in there with these little plastic tabs. And as you can see, I kind of broke it trying to get it apart. So that was interesting. I've never had that happen. I was like, how strong am I when I pulled that apart like Hercules, right? But I fixed it with a little bit of hot glue. Now, I thought the metal on there was a little boring, so I'm going to add some burlap trim around that. I just take the burlap roll from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to hot glue that around. I think that'll go way better with our little luau theme for this DIY. And this was such an easy DIY to make, and it's so cute. This would be a really cute just party decoration, summer decoration. The fact that it's made out of plastic, you don't have to worry about it breaking if it gets knocked around. So it could be a fun little solar light project to have around kids as well. I just trimmed off my excess burlap material there, and I have the perfect little light to go on the top of this bottle. Now, it is lightweight since it is plastic, and I don't want it falling all over the place, so I'm going to weigh mine down with just some Dollar Tree stones. So I just chose some white stones. You could also use maybe sand as well, whatever you have. I put that down in the bottom before I glued on my solar light, and I just did that with a little bit of hot glue. There it is, our little Tiki Totem light. So pretty. I love that color. And then you could kind of see the screw there for the top underneath where I put the solar light. So what I'm going to do is just make a little rope collar. I take some Dollar Tree rope and I'm just going to go around a couple of times just to fill out that section. It's just going to help seal the light on there as well, but it's also going to fill in that little bit of a gap that I had there at the top. I kind of forgot that I added that piece. I thought I was done. And so I just glue that there on the back and seal my rope down with some hot glue. Now my little tiki light is complete. This was so easy and so fun using one of the summer cups from the Dollar Tree. This is what it looks like during the daytime. I love the burlap and the rope on there with all the little tiki totem faces on there. Reminds me of Hawaii. I love things that remind me of Hawaii. My husband and I went there for our 20th wedding anniversary. Of course, we had to take our son Chase with us, but we had so much fun on the Big Island. And every time I talk about it, I just am dying to go back. So much fun. This is what it looks like during the night. As you can see, that blue cup lights up so pretty. That transparent plastic being dyed like that is perfect for a solar light. And this is the day and this is the night. Lights up really well, and I think the little grass skirt on there is just a fun touch. For this DIY, I'm going to use the new candle holders that they have at the Dollar Tree. They're like a distressed ivory. And I'm going to use a wood sign and one of their foam wreath forms. And 3 of these beautiful solar lights that I found from the Dollar Tree. I just wish they weren't black. So we're going to paint them. I don't really normally like painting them, but it had to be done to match those really cool little candlesticks that they have from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to take it apart, get everything prepped to paint, and I want to make a spring centerpiece for a table with solar lights. And I can use those 3 different lengths of the candlesticks to have 3 different sizes of solar lights sticking up from below. Now the top has the solar panel, which is black, so that's kind of inevitable. So what I did was use my painter's tape just to tape off the top of it. I'm just going to leave the entire top black. That's fine. I can just do the light itself and the little lampshade in an ivory color to match the candlesticks. And I'm glad that I painted them, but again, it is kind of a pain to paint these. I'm going to use spray paint to make it a little bit easier. But I taped all 3 of them, cutting off the excess painter's tape, and I also taped the little light bulbs on them so that I don't cover them completely with spray paint as well. And I think everything is prepped and ready to paint. So let's set this stuff aside. This turned out to be a pretty large piece. I'm counting this as 3 solar lights because we're working on 3 here. This is the spray paint that I'm using. It's an heirloom white, so it's kind of an ivory color. And I just paint them. The only thing I don't like about working with spray paint is the humidity here. It takes it a little while to dry, and I've always got a million projects up my sleeve, so I am a little impatient with letting them dry. But I just went ahead and spray painted them from this direction because, of course, I want to leave the top of them black. And just doing a little bit of touch up to make sure that I got good coverage on the 3 caps. So we can do the same thing here for these. These are probably my favorite solar lights from the Dollar Tree just because the pattern is so pretty and intricate on there. I have used these before, and I just paint this from the outside with the ivory. And then I'm also going to have to flip them over and paint them from the inside so you don't see any of that black plastic coming through. To do that, I thought it would be easier just to go ahead and put them in the candlesticks. That way they will be standing up in the right direction like that. And while I'm at it, I might as well just glue them in. I just pulled in some hot glue so it'd be nice and thick to make a little glue bath there for the bottom of the stake, and they fit perfectly in there. And I'm going to do the same thing here for the other 2. Just flipping them over on there, adding hot glue and gluing them in place. And I love these candlesticks from the Dollar Tree. They kind of remind me of the black ones, but I love the distressed ivory color. I think it's so pretty, and it's going to look so cool for this project. So we have our 3 lamps here, and I'm going to go ahead and spray paint them on the inside there so they are completely all ivory. I wish they would mix up the colors a little bit on these solar lights from the Dollar Tree because, as you'll see, they are almost all black. But when you add a little bit of color to them like this with the white, the ivory color, I think it really makes them look so pretty. So I think that looks pretty good. We can set those aside, let those start drying, and we can start working on the centerpiece. I've had this idea for a while, and I'm so glad that I finally did it. I think this is going to look great in my floor room on my table for spring and summer. And I am just using a Dollar Tree wood sign. I just wanted something about the right size as the wreath form from the Dollar Tree. That way I could provide a bottom for it. So this is just the green foam wreath from the Dollar Tree. These are not super big. I think they work great for centerpiece size though. I'm just going to use some hot glue here on my wood sign and attach my wreath on there, and we can start decorating this with flowers and moss and all kinds of really pretty things for spring. So the candle holders can go in it like that. I'm going to go ahead and glue them in there and decorate around them. So I just add some hot glue to my sign there, and I'm going to kind of stagger them here where the 2 shorter ones are in front of the taller one in the back. They're still kind of drying, so I'm just touching the candle holder on this part. So I can let that continue drying, but that is what it looks like so far. Now it's time to decorate it. I'm going to use these beautiful pansies from the Dollar Tree. They're like purples and yellows and whites, and I think this is going to look really pretty in contrast to like the green reindeer moss from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these rather short. I decided to go ahead and leave the leaves on there to add a little bit more greenery. Most of them are on wire, so I can just cut them and put them directly into my wreath form, but some of them were attached just by plastic. So for those pieces, what I did was I just dipped them in some hot glue. I used a little screwdriver to poke a hole into the foam first and added hot glue. That way they would stay firmly in place as well. And I'm just going to scatter these around. I only have 3 bundles of these flowers from the Dollar Tree, and it's a pretty big centerpiece, so I'm going to have to spread them out, try to make this work. I want to try to cover about 1/3 of the wreath form, and I'm working on the top and the outer edge of it. And I'm just kind of alternating the colors and styles of these pansy flowers. I think these are so pretty. I use these in some St. Patrick's Day Dollar Tree DIYs on my channel, and I thought they were so pretty. I had to pick up some more of these. They just remind me so much of spring. And so I just keep working my way around. Most of these, of course, I just use the wire to attach, but again, some of them I did have to glue into place. But using one of those tiny screwdrivers from the Dollar Tree and a little bit of hot glue on the stems definitely seemed to work. And I just worked my way all the way around. Now I am going to cover the base, the bottom of the candle holders there that's holding the solar lights, with spring decor as well. But the flowers are definitely going to be kind of the star of the show here, all along the outside. Now I didn't have quite enough, so I'm going to move a few of them around just to scatter them up a little bit. I can always add moss anywhere I need to cover up the green foam. And I add some hot glue here to the bottom of the sign and the bottom of the candle holders and just start adding reindeer moss all around here. I will add a different kind of floral in here, but I wanted a little mossy bed first, and this really worked well with the greenery. And it kind of ties everything in. You don't see the bases of the candle holders holding up the solar lights. And again, I love the ivory color that I painted those. I think that works well with the project. Once I get that covered, I go in any of the gaps on my foam wreath form and fill that in with some moss as well. And I just work my way around. I do like the outer and the inner edges, anywhere where I could see any of that green foam. I don't want to see any of that. I want it all to be mossy in between the flowers. Now, I didn't want to do a flower that was going to contrast too much with those bright, beautiful pansies. So what I decided to decorate the middle of the section is with all of the moss is just some of the baby's breath from the Dollar Tree. The little tiny white flowers, I think they will work perfectly for this. So I'm just cutting them into individual pieces, not too tall, and dipping them in my hot glue skillet and adding those to the moss. This will do another little bed of flowers. And again, it's not going to really take away from all those bright, beautiful colors that we have going on so far. And I just add these all over. Once I get those all added, now it's time to put my solar lights together. My paint was kind of dry. Let me show you how I clean up the top of these. I found that rubbing alcohol works great for spray paint if you get too much on there, and I did have a little bit of overspray on the top. And again, I wanted the top of mine just to stay black. I thought that would be easier. And I just popped the little plastic light back on there and put these together. I cleaned up the top of it with rubbing alcohol, but I did need to actually touch up the paint a little bit there where I didn't have a perfect paint job. And I just did that with a little bit of ivory acrylic on that one. But the rubbing alcohol worked great for getting that overspray off the top for sure, because I guess I didn't do a great job of taping the top of them. And I just went ahead and cleaned this one up as well, adding the little light fixture back on there, the little plastic globe, and just pop this one back in. It's really easy to add these to these little light fixtures. And I do that with all 3 of them. Just cleaned the tops off the best that I could and added those to our great little centerpiece. And this is how it turned out with these 3 solar lights. Again, I love the intricate pattern on these. I think they look great painted, even though it was a little bit of a pain having to spray paint them. But they look great with those candlesticks from the Dollar Tree, I think. and this DIY centerpiece that we made with the beautiful pansies from the Dollar Tree. Aren't those colors wonderful? I absolutely love how this project turned out. It's a functional centerpiece that I can put outdoors on my table for spring and summer, and it lights up on its own. As you can see, that beautiful pattern looks even better at night. Isn't that so cool? I really love how this project turned out. It was exactly what I was envisioning when I went to put this together. So fun. And I'm glad I thought of something to do with those beautiful pansies. For the next DIY, I found this great spring bottle from the Dollar Tree. It's so pretty. It's got little purple flowers all over. I thought this would make a really cute little mini solar light. So I'm going to fill it up with just some lavender. This is some lavender that I got at Walmart, but you could always use the one from the Dollar Tree too if you can find some in purple. But this matches the jar perfectly. So I'm just going to cut a couple sprigs out and put those down in there. Those are going to look so pretty when illuminated by a solar light. Now, I didn't want the solar light to be too big on this one, so I'm going to use one of the solar lights from the Dollar General. This is the 6-pack that you get for $5 there. And you know what? You can even get it delivered by DoorDash, which is pretty cool. I did that to get some more. And I'm going to go ahead and put the lid right on here. Now, the lid is a little bit too small to fit on there perfectly, like to screw on there for the hot glue. So I had to kind of force it on there a little bit and then flip it over and reinforce it with a little bit of hot glue just to make sure that it stays on there level, but it also stays on there really sturdy. And then I also use a little bit of Dollar Tree rope. I like to use the rope to reinforce the solar lights, the glue on them. I find that hot glue and rope holds up pretty well outdoors. And so I think that's going to be another fun thing that I can add here. It's not going to take away from anything, but it's going to help glue that on since I wasn't so sure about the solar light staying on there. But I do like the smaller size solar light when I have a smaller size bottle like this from the Dollar Tree. It's so cute. It has a little flower tied on. I'm going to leave that on there because I think it looks really cute. And here it is, our little spring bottle with a solar light. So this is really pretty for spring and summer. I love the flowers on there. And it's going to look so pretty lit up with the flowers inside of it. It's a fun way to do a solar light for sure. I've done other DIYs where I've lit up the flowers inside and I always love it. This is the beautiful light pattern it gives you at night. As you can see, it gives you a great pattern around the little bottle. So easy to put together with a little solar light on top. I love making spring DIYs. They're definitely one of my favorite things I do here on my channel. This is my 3rd solar light DIY video this year. And here are some more solar light DIYs I've done on my channel. And they have some new ones this year, like this one with a little butterfly and a little jar. And I thought I could do something cool with that. So I'm going to combine it with one of the Shore Living bottles. This one's like a bluish green color. And I wanted to see if I could make a cute little solar light for like my outdoor table. Something that would be kind of a decor piece, but also light up at night. I want to completely get rid of the wire altogether on that with the butterfly, so I just went ahead and pulled it all the way out, and that worked pretty well. Now, you can leave the top of your solar lights like whatever color they are. I'm not a big fan of black with coastal, so I'm going to go ahead and just use some painter's tape, tape off the the little solar panel on the top. And I'm just going to paint mine just to kind of make it blend in, give it more like the coastal color scheme. I have like a khaki spray paint. So I'm going to put some rope around the sides of it, but I think the khaki spray paint will kind of blend in. So I'm just going to prop it up actually on just a little tape dispenser and spray that with some spray paint. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm basically painting it for the top of it. Because I am going to cover the sides of it when I go to put it all together. I wanted it to be like just a cool little piece that you could put on a table. So that fits in there with the little stake that's already on there because I pulled off, the stake that goes into the ground. So it leaves like a little plastic piece. And I thought I probably need to weigh it down a little bit since I'm going to have it outside and it can be a little windy here. So I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree pebbles in the bottom to weigh it down. I wasn't concerned with decorating this part too much because with the design on the glass, you can't really see through the bottle very much. So I'm just going to fill it up a little bit with the pebbles, just enough to give it a little bit of weight since it's going to be outside. They have these bottles in all different colors. I like the blue one. I think it looks really beachy. And then I can put the little jar like right on the top of it. Now, since I'm working with glass and since I'm working with something outside, I'm going to try to do E6000 for this part to make it a little bit more permanent. And I just put that around the top of the bottle and put the plastic jar right on top. And now I'm going to fill it up with some Dollar Tree tan sand. I was surprised though, this one has a hole in the bottom and I didn't even realize it. I guess it's the only one that I've seen that was like that. And so I did get a little sand in my bottle, which I didn't mean to, but you can't really tell. I decided just to fill mine up with hot glue. You could always put like, I don't know, like a piece of tape or something over that too. But yeah, there's definitely a hole in the bottom of the butterfly one, so learn from that. So I'm just going to fill it up with a little bit of sand until I think it looks good. And I want to do like a little beach scene on the top of this, so sand and seashells is what I'm thinking. I'm going to use some of these little tiny glass bottle seashells. They come in bottles like this. Haven't been able to find them in a couple months in my Dollar Tree. I hope that they continue carrying these because I love these little tiny seashells. I'm just going to kind of scatter those all around. And then I get these little starfish on Amazon. I just got a new package of them. They're so cute. I do have those linked in my Amazon shop, linked down below. So starfish, some seashells. Now we can work on the light part here. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove my painter's tape on that. And then I also want to kind of decorate the side on that. And I'm going to go ahead and arrange my seashells the way I want them. But the great thing about this is that I'll be able to take the lid off if it kind of gets messed up, gets knocked over or whatever. So I can arrange my seashells, make sure they're all like on top and cute. I thought it needed just one more seashell. And then I just have a scrap piece of Dollar Tree rope that's going to be perfect to go around the edges. It'll probably go around about twice. And so I just hot glue that to the edge. And that's just another little bit of coastal decorating touch. Not completely necessary since I painted it, but I think it still added a little bit more beach decor. And this just turned out so cute. It was really fun to put this one together. And you can use like whatever kind of seashells or beachy items you can think of to put in there. But basically it's like just a little jar that is attached to a solar light. So it is definitely a fun one to try. Every year it seems like they get slightly different solar lights. So I always like to try some of the new ones to see if I can come up with some new ideas like this one. So I'm just going to screw that on top of the jar. And then I thought a little bit, the rope looked really good. So let's add some twine to the bottle too. Just add a little texture down there around the neck of the bottle. So I just take some Dollar Tree twine, tie it off right there at the neck, and just wrap that around a few times just to give it a little bit more fun. I'm going to glue that here on the back, the end, and it is complete. It's kind of hard to show you. I have to show you this way because I don't want to mess up my cute little beach display in there. So as you can see, it has like the top part. It looks really cute even in the daytime with a little beach scene in there and that beautiful blue bottle. The stones in there kind of add a little bit of a decorative touch too, in addition to weighing it down. So let's turn off the lights. Let me show you what this looks like at night. It is nice and bright and it lights up that little beach scene right inside the jar. I thought this would be really cute for my table, like out in my Florida room. Something that is functional and really super cute. I love solar lights. I love like the ambience they give you. Okay, up next they have these new solar lights this year too. I'm going to combine it with a fun noodle to make cool like nautical pilings light display. by using just a fun noodle. I thought I could do like the 3 logs, like, at a pier where you like can tie up your boat. And so I'm going to take the fun noodle and I want to cut it in 3 different lengths. So there'll be some variety. We can tie them all together. It's got a hole in it, so I can go ahead and put the solar light in it. I thought this decorative one would be perfect. And I'm using that little pool noodle knife from the Dollar Tree. It works great for cutting this down. And I'm going to display it all just on one of those chunky wood, like rectangular signs from the Dollar Tree. So that is what it's going to look like. I only had a red fun noodle, so we're going to make it work. I want to make it look like wood though. So for the base, I do want that to kind of look like wood, kind of like driftwood. So I'm using like this beachcomber color by Apple Barrel. And I'm just painting the wood plaque. I thought the wood plaque would be a nice heavy base. Something that would hold up outdoors and be really cute. And this solar light DIY just turned out amazing. So after I paint it, I'm just taking some antique wax by Waverly and distressing in one direction. I kind of blend it with a baby wipe and it's going to give me like a wood grain, kind of give it that distressed driftwood look that I wanted. Now this is the contact paper that I'm going to use. It's kind of like a light to a medium like wood grain on there. And I thought I could cover the fun noodles with this to kind of make them look like nautical piling. So I'm going to measure. I can do one across that'll do like the medium and the small one. So I just measure. They have lines on the back, so it makes it easy to cut and just see how much I need to go all the way around. I do want to overlap, so it sticks a little bit better to itself than it actually sticks to the fun noodle. So it is important to overlap it a little bit. So I'm trying to get it lined up straight. Easier said than done. But you can kind of pull it off until you're happy with it. Starting in the middle seemed to work a little bit better for me. And I'm just going to roll that on and it's going to make it look like wood. Since it's made out of a fun noodle, it should hold up well outside too. And I think the contact paper will too. So I have enough for the smaller one of the fun noodles too. So I'm going to cut that one down to size and peel and stick on this as well. Now, I'm going to do the same thing on all 3 of them. I did think about using the contact paper for the top of it as well, but I found that it really did not just stick to the foam, especially like the cut foam tops of it. So I had to come up with another plan for that, but what I came up with actually seemed to work pretty well. So here is our 3rd and final log. And this looks like it's real contact paper. You could also use like the wood contact paper from the Dollar Tree. They have it too. I think it would work fine. I just happen to have this. It is probably a little bit better quality than the one you're going to get at Dollar Tree. But this is our final nautical piling. And I've made one of these maybe for 4th of July one time. I kind of remember making one of these, but it's always a fun idea to try to make some faux wood here. So we have all 3 pieces, and then now we have to deal with the tops of them. I want to disguise like the red. I don't want that to show through. So I'm going to try to mask it with some white paint. And I also want to cover the holes in the center of 2 of them that won't have lights. I'm only going to do the light on the tallest one of the nautical pilings. So I just take some white duct tape and I just kind of cut it where it would cover the hole but not like stick out on the sides of it. And then I want to leave my 3rd one open like that because it's a perfect size for a solar light. Now to disguise the red, I'm going to paint it white. So I'm painting it white. It's going to match that duct tape too. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to disguise the red because we're going to be covering it with something else that you might be able to see through. And I don't want you to be able to see that it is a red fun noodle under this. So I just kind of carefully paint over the duct tape. Actually worked pretty well. And the sides of it. And then this one doesn't have any duct tape, so I just kind of go around the top of it, and then I also go like inside a little bit, anywhere that you might see a little bit of red peeking out. And then I thought to cover the top of it, I wanted something coastal beachy, but something that I would be able to stick to it since the contact paper did not want to stick to the top. And I decided to try burlap. I had a scrap piece of burlap from the Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is just cut out a square of that, larger than the pier post for each one of those. So I just went ahead and cut out 3 pieces of that. I'm not going to cut them out into circles. I'm going to cut them out later to size. Right now, we're just going to do it with squares. Since it's going outside, I have a lot of luck with that tacky glue from the Dollar Tree holding up well outside. So I put a nice coat of that on top of the white paint and then just lay my burlap right inside of there. I'm going to kind of push it down with a paper towel, make sure it is all adhered before the glue dries. And we're going to do the same thing here with the other 2. It's a nice thick glue. I've used it for like gluing shells on things outside and just really impressed with the strength of this. I thought it might be better than Mod Podge because Mod Podge is going to be like water soluble. So I did the same thing there with the shorter one. For this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I could always cut the hole out when I trim up the rest of the burlap. So that looks pretty good, and it dried up really fast. I didn't want to use heat on it because the foam will kind of melt a little bit. And then once I get it on there, I just go around and cut it down to size. That way I get a perfect cut, make sure I don't have any red peeking out around the corners. And it definitely goes with, you know, that wood feel and the nautical feel. So that was a good solution for the top of those. Now for this one, I need to have a hole in the center too. You can see through it so you can see exactly where you need to cut, and doesn't have to be perfect right here because it's going to be covered up with that cute little solar light that I got at the Dollar Tree. It has like a really great design on it, and it does a really cool pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape from the battery. Make sure this is good to go, and I'm going to leave the stem on mine, but I don't need the stake that goes into the ground. And then I am going to go ahead and see how I want these on here. I kind of liked it with the 2 taller ones in the back and the shorter one in the front. So that is what we're going to do with these. I'm going to hot glue these down. I couldn't really think of something that was going to be strong enough to hold it, you know, in the process. Like, you know, I really need this to get done tonight, so I didn't have time to let any other kind of glue set up. So I use hot glue from time to time outside, and I have pretty good success with the Gorilla Glue. So after figuring out exactly how I want this laid out, I'm just going to use a pencil to sketch that out so I know exactly where to put my hot glue before I put my fun noodle back on there. So I'm going to do one at a time, and I'm going to fill the whole fun noodle up just like that, lots of glue. It's okay if a little bit of it comes out around the sides. I want it to be nice and strong. And then we're going to do the same thing here with the other 2 nautical pilings. Now, we have an island here where I live in Florida that is between the ocean and the lagoon. And it is really fun to go to the lagoon. They have these like nautical pilings everywhere where people can tie up their boats and stuff like that when they go to restaurants and stuff like that. So it's super fun. So that's what it looks like so far. Now I want to tie them together since they're nautical pilings. I don't really have enough room to do like 2 rows of rope, so I'm going to do like 1 rope and then I'm going to like wrap it around twice. So I start here in the back and I just hot glued that to the back of the piling like that. And then I'm going to go around 1 more time. I did hot glue it on the front too, just to kind of keep it in place, and then hot glue it here on the back, and we can just cut off the rest of that rope. And that's just Dollar Tree rope. So that's what it looks like so far. Now it's time for the light. All you got to do is put it right down inside that fun noodle. Isn't that so cool? I think it turned out really fun. And wait till you see this all lit up. I love the design. Even in the daytime, it was wanting to light up for me there. And making the nautical pilings that kind of look like wood, that contact paper is pretty impressive. Looks really good. The base is pretty simple. I didn't really want that to stand out too much. It's more of a functional piece. And look at that beautiful pattern that the solar light is emitting all over the place. I think this is going to be perfect for my front porch. I'm so excited to put this out. These solar lights are so much fun and they really last for a long time. So there it is, our Nautical Pilings Solar Light DIY. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's video, don't forget to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, back to crafting. Now, this is a newer candle holder I found, and it's kind of a bronze color, so I picked up a matching bronze solar light from the Dollar Tree. I think this color is really pretty, and I thought we could do something like that. Just pull it off, leave the light fixture on there, and kind of display it as a candle. So this is going to be kind of a tabletop display. I think I'm going to put this on a little table out in my floor room. But I wanted to kind of give the base a little bit more of a beachy touch. So I just took some school glue and I just do a coat of school glue all over the bottom. I thought we could make it look like sand down here. So once I get it coated, I'm taking some Dollar Tree tan sand and sprinkling all over. And I always like to spray it with some of their spray adhesive if I can find some to kind of glue it down from the top too. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I wanted a sandy bottom for the candle holder. Now I did want to add just a few seashells down there to kind of make it look like a beach. And so again, I'm going to use some of those mini seashells from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to use some of that tacky glue again because that seems to work really well with outdoor things and especially with seashells. I'm only going to do a couple of seashells. You're only going to be able to really see this from the front. If you were going to make it for a candle, it would be like a candle on a table for an outdoor table. You could decorate both sides. And I'm also going to add a Dollar Tree starfish to it from the Shore Living line. Like that, kind of have it dangle down in the middle of the circle. You could also do that on both sides as well if you wanted to. So just using some Dollar Tree twine, I want the top of the starfish to kind of be tied off. And then I can attach it and let it dangle down inside that ring. The candle holder is actually pretty cool. So I just tie the twine on the top of it like that, hot glue it in place, and wrap that around to give that wrapped look you often see on starfish. I'm also going to tie it just so I can kind of have a knot here in the back to kind of have something to hang down like that, and wrap it around is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to start just by hot gluing the rope that I already have on there a little bit just to get us started. And then I can just wrap that twine around the candle holder like that. I get it nice and tight, and then I am just going to tie that off here on the back of it. And then I can kind of hot glue that down there in the back. And I think one more row is perfect. It just gives a little bit of texture to this little solar light holder. And even though it's a candle holder, it's going to actually be like a solar light holder. So it's looking pretty cute. I'm liking the sand and the seashells and definitely that little shore living starfish. And you could just sit that in there. I want it to be a little bit more permanent. I don't want it falling out. So I'm just going to kind of fill up the candle holder itself with hot glue. And I had to use quite a bit and just stick that little solar light down inside. I left the plastic part on this one, so it just sticks down in there. It was a little bit skinnier than a candle, so that's why I needed the extra hot glue in there to secure it in place. And this is how it turned out, the little bronze solar light in the bronze Dollar Tree candle holder. And we have our little hanging starfish, a little sandy beach there at the bottom. A really fun way to do a little solar light DIY, and this is what it looks like lit up at night. So it turned out really pretty. I don't often leave the little light parts on the solar lights like that, but for this one, it was definitely needed. Super cute. I like it. Okay, guys, are you ready for another solar light? This one's going to be another bronze one, and I also found a jar with a bronze lid from the Dollar Tree, and I thought we could kind of put them together and see if we could get this to work. It's a square jar, and it's like very iridescent and really pretty. So I kind of take it apart. I pull the light out as much as I can get it. It doesn't have a lot of wire on there. And then I figured I could just poke a hole in the lid of the jar like that and put the light bulb down inside. And the bronze colors go together great. Now, at first I tried with a nail. I'm trying to put a nail here in the center because I just need to drill a little hole here in the center. And I could only find these little tiny roofing nails in my husband's stash. That wasn't working very well, so I switched it up to a little screwdriver, hammered that inside, and drilled a little hole there in top. Just trying to make that a little bit larger if I can, so there's enough room for that light bulb to come through. I kind of switched it up to a larger screwdriver, and it just kind of worked as a punch, as you can see there, without having to break out a drill or anything like that. And you can just pop the little light in it just like that. So I was worried that it wouldn't be bright enough, but it actually turned out pretty well. The light bulb actually just goes straight through that hole and lights up the jar. Now to connect it, I'm just going to use some E6000 and some hot glue combination, and not mixing the two different glues together, and I lay the lid on there. That's going to give me the short-term, long-term hold of both of those glues. Now it's time to decorate the jar. Isn't this jar so pretty? I found this little palm tree, the fairy garden beach section at the Dollar Tree. And it's a really nice size little palm tree. It's got a little life ring on it. Fits perfectly in here, and it pretty much takes up most of the jar. So I just hot glue it to the bottom so it won't fall over inside there if it gets knocked over. And then again, using some Dollar Tree tan sand to fill up the beachy area. And then we can't have a beach without seashells, so I'm going to use some of those little tiny seashells, kind of scatter those around, kind of turn them the right way so they look good in there, and just a little bit of everything to fill out like the beach scene. The beach theme with these solar lights is just so much fun. You guys know I love beach or coastal theme for everything. So once I got the beach scene on there, I just screw the lid on the top of the jar. And then I thought it needed a little something to cover the sides of the solar light, just to give it a little bit more texture. So I'm just going to use some burlap. That same piece of burlap I had from earlier, I'm just going to cut down a strip of it by pulling out a strand and making just a burlap ribbon that is just the right size for the sides of that solar light. And it really did I know that they match like the bronze and the bronze, but it was just a little bit too much metal going on up here. And so I just attached the burlap ribbon that we made with some hot glue, wrapping that around the top, and just the perfect little bit of coastal texture that was needed on this solar light DIY. And it's hard to show you any of these today because if I turn them sideways, they will all mess up. So let me show you here how it turned out with the square bronze lidded jar from the Dollar Tree with the bronze solar light, with that cute little palm tree. We got a surfboard. We have seashells in there. Super cute, and this is what it looks lit up at night. It kind of gives you like a cool effect. The palm tree is actually pretty tall in there, but the rest of the jar lights up nicely. And this is a cute little solar light that you can just put about anywhere. I made solar lights last year and they did so well. I just had to do more this year. I'm planning another video too if you guys like this one. Okay, for the next one, we're going to use this little candle holder that I found at Dollar Tree. It's already got a rope handle on it, so it's perfect for Nautical. And then we're just going to use one of the regular silver solar lights, but just the top of it. We're going to fill this one with some Dollar Tree sea glass. So it's really important to remove your labels on that one because it's going to be shining all the way through. And these are like light blue, like a royal blue, green. I'm just going to kind of alternate different colors, mix it up. And I was thinking that the solar light will shine through the Dollar Tree sea glass and make it look really pretty. And it did turn out so cool. So excited. My Dollar Trees have all been stocking up on the sea glass, maybe for summer, but I always stock up whenever they have it. I love it. So as you can see, you can fit the top on this, but only on this inside edge. So I just run some E6000 around the very inner edge of the top of that jar and sit the solar light on top. Again, I removed the little light bulb, the light portion from most of these because I find that it works a little bit better. Now, you can even make it have a longer handle. I'm going to do that with just some twine. I'm going to tie that into a knot and just extend the hanger. That way I can hang this outdoors and it's going to have a longer hanger, but you could always use the shorter one that's already attached if you find this shirt your Dollar Tree as well. But this is how it looks hanging up. This is really cute. You can hang it from a porch. You can hang it from a tree even. And it looks cute in the daytime too, with the silver and the beautiful sea glass inside. But the magic happens at night. Isn't that so beautiful? It lights up so pretty. It just illuminates all the way through all of the sea glass. And it even makes the jar look tinted, doesn't it? So pretty, and this one was really easy to DIY. So our little sea glass solar light jar. Now for the next DIY, I picked up a jar from the Dollar Tree that's got like a swirl pattern on it, and I'm going to try tinting it. This is the dishwasher safe Mod Podge. I chose this one because I want to be able to have it outside, and regular Mod Podge outside is going to be water soluble. So as you can see, it's the first time I've used this. And I've never tried tinting before, and I was blown away by how easy this is. So as you can see, I poured a little bit of that dishwasher safe Mod Podge. I think I picked that up at, maybe I got it on Amazon, but I know that they do have it at Target. And some food coloring from the Dollar Tree. I do 1 drop of blue and 1 drop of green. And as you can see, it really did a good job giving me that like teal color that reminds me of the ocean. Now I'm going to take that and paint the outside of the jar to do the tinted glass look. I've always thought that you had to bake this. So I always thought it would be like a big challenge. But I was learning that you don't really have to bake them, and especially since I'm using the dishwasher-proof Mod Podge, it does say that you probably should cure it for 28 days before you get it really wet. So keep that in mind if you're going to put it like out in the weather. But I just went over the whole jar with a thin coat of that dyed Mod Podge. Look how beautiful that looks. I was told that, you know, it looks darker than it is, so I probably could have stopped with 1 coat, but I was worried that after it dried, it was going to get super faint and not be that tinted anymore, but it actually looks pretty at that point. I just dried it with my heat gun, so I didn't know if it would get lighter, but I decided to be safe rather than sorry, and I just went over the whole thing with another coat. A little bit of the Mod Podge seemed to go a long way. As you can see, I didn't mix up very much and I still had lots left over. But I thought that, I really thought that tinting glass was a lot harder than this. Now that I've actually tried it, I am going to be doing this a lot because look how beautiful that Dollar Tree clear glass looks. It looks like I bought it that way. I had to show it off to my husband. So I have the second coat on there. I'm going to make sure to get it good and dry. I don't want to mess it up. It looks so pretty, and I think it kind of looks like ocean waves, right? And I thought, you know, we might as well put seashells in it just for a little bit of decoration. You can't see in it too well, but I think you can tell that they're seashells. So I just took all different kinds of those little miniature seashells from the Dollar Tree and scattered them in there. And then we can do just the silver top from one of the solar lights from the Dollar Tree. And it fits on here really well. So all I have to do is do some E6000 right around the top and lay that on there. I love those little tiny bottles of E6000 because mine always clogs. Hate that. And those are just the perfect amount. Now I'm going to use some twine. This is the thicker twine from Walmart. It's a little bit thicker than the twine from Dollar Tree. And I'm actually going to make a handle for this one to show you how you can kind of hang it. If you know, the last one had the hanger already on there. This one is going to be kind of a DIY version. So I just hot glue the twine to the sides of the jar like that. There's a little lip around the top of that jar. And then I can wrap more twine around to fill that area in. And it's going to help enclose that too. And again, I'm just using hot glue. Whenever I'm using like rope, I find that the hot glue works really well. So I'm just going to wrap that around until it fills in that area about 3 times and just hot glue the twine down there to the back. And now we have a super easy hanger. And it turned out so cute. So my first attempt at tinting glass was a huge success. So pretty. This is what it looks like during the day, that bluish green color, and doing it on that jar with the swirls and some seashells peeking out from the inside look really pretty during the day. And look at that. When it's lit up at night, you can really see that there's seashells in there. I wasn't sure if you'd be able to see in there. And it looks beautiful lit up with the Mod Podge. Who knew? I love it, and it was really easy to do. I'm definitely going to be doing that again, don't worry. Now for the next DIY. I think this is a Shore Living candle holder. I found it in the Shore Living section. It's tinted like blue, and then I also found this cool like teal candle holder from the Dollar Tree. So I thought I can combine the two together. They are different colors of blue, but I think they kind of look cool together. The one from the Shore Living line is a very subtle colored glass, and the base is very colored. So nice contrast. The sticker on the bottom of the Shore Living glass thing was a nightmare to get off. I did get some of this adhesive remover at Dollar Tree the other day. It's kind of like a Goo Gone. It seems to work pretty well, but I did have to get the label off kind of first and then get the rest of the residue off. Now for this one, I thought we could use some more of the little fairy garden sea creatures. I found like a clownfish, a seahorse, and we're also going to do a starfish to make it look like the bottom of the ocean since we have a blue tinted jar. I thought that would be really fun. So we're just going to attach those with hot glue so they don't fall all around. And I want it to look like kind of like the ocean floor in there. So since this one's already blue, I don't really need to tint it, but I guess you could if you had like more of a clear one. But that's what it looks like so far. That fills it up pretty nicely. And I'm going to use white sand for this one. Just because you're not really going to be able to see, I think, the color of the sand through the blue jar anyway, to represent the bottom of the ocean. Now, as you can see, the solar light is too small to fit in there, but I'm going to show you how I fix that. Now, let's start putting it together. This is the candle holder. I found this in blue, this blue color. I also found it in pink, and it's really weighted down. I thought this would be a great base for an outdoor solar light display like this. And I just sit the jar right on top, gluing that in place. Now, since the solar light top was too small, I'm going to make it wider by attaching some of that Walmart twine to the outside of it. It's going to make the perfect thickness to actually fit as a lid on the top of that. So I just start there at the top, hot gluing that in place, and we're just going to wrap that twine all the way around. It's going to add a decorative touch, but it's definitely also going to be functional. So all the way down to the bottom, I hot glue the end and trim off the excess. Sometimes this Walmart twine is awfully hairy too, so I just burned off the fuzzies with my lighter on that to make it look a little bit better. And it sits on there really well like that. And I really like the texture of that twine. It's kind of a cross between Dollar Tree twine and rope, the size of this. So I'm actually going to add some more of it around the base here between the candle holder and the jar to provide a little bit more texture, kind of make it all go together. So I just wrap that around a few times to kind of cover that area of the candle holder. Try not to move it around too much because I want that E6000 to sit up. to attach it, but this is how it turned out. We have our little seahorse, clownfish, and starfish in the sand in the little blue tinted jar. It's kind of like a blue iridescent on that like teal heavy duty base that hopefully will provide a little bit more weight to the bottom of it so it won't fall over. Now this is what it looks like lit up at night. Super cute. You can still see that blue tint of the jar, which kind of adds to the underwater theme that I was going for. And the lid fits on there perfectly with the twine on there. Super easy, super cute, and very whimsical. Okay, next DIY, I'm going to combine one of the little Dollar Tree like fish bowls and one of the glass candle holders and one of those fun butterfly solar lights. So I thought we could do something fun here. I found some sea life toys at the toy section at Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna use the dolphin in that. Now, if you don't have those or can't find those, you can always use the little wood dolphins from the Shore Living line as well. So for this one, I want to remove the butterfly, but I don't want to remove the wire because I want to have the dolphin jumping out of the water is what I was thinking. And so I'm just going to remove the little plastic clip, take the butterfly apart, and leave the wire on there. These are the sea life creatures I found. And I thought a dolphin would be perfect because I can make it look like the bottom of it was the ocean. We have a little dolphin jumping through the air. Above the ocean like that in the little glass fish bowl. So kind of all fits together. I was thinking I could attach it. It can dangle down inside there. Now, I don't really like the fact that it's just blue. Dolphins usually aren't this color. So we're going to give our little dolphin a makeover with some elephant gray acrylic paint. And it's okay if a little bit of the blue shines through. But I think it looks better painted than it did. Maybe it makes it look a little bit less like a toy, but I always check the toy aisle at Dollar Tree too, because you never know what you're going to find. You could find some cool little sea creatures like this. I don't remember Dollar Tree ever having the sea creatures before, so it's a relatively new find. Now to attach the glass fishbowl to the glass candle holder, again, I'm just going to do some E6000. It works great, especially glass to glass like that, and set the fishbowl right on top. Like that, super cute. I like the glass on glass effect. And then for the ocean, I'm going to use some of the crushed glass from Dollar Tree. This is the blue. I thought that would represent the ocean. It's kind of a darker blue, but I think it'll work. So I don't want to put too much in there because I want the dolphin to be jumping out of it. So I'm just basically covering the bottom of it with that to represent the ocean. And then we can try to make that sit on the top, even though that solar light is way smaller than the top of the fishbowl. Now this is the dolphin. We have to try to figure out how to attach that to the wire, but I think we can make it work. Now this is black again, and I don't really want the top of this to be black. The solar light, I don't think it's really going to go with my coastal vibe. So this time, instead of painting it or taping it off, I thought it'd be easier just to cut down some packaging for a square. And again, I'm going to do the khaki spray paint and just spray paint it until it's a color that I like a little bit better. And it'll kind of blend in because I think I'm going to have to use rope to make a lid for my fish jar. So just turning it around, and I do craft in my garage. That's why I am able to spray paint out there. I just try not to get it on my camera if I can. Now, once I have that painted and dried, we can start working on the lid for this. So my plan is I can take some Dollar Tree rope. This is like the thinner rope, I guess. I'm going to start right here on the top and hot glue it to around the top of it. So basically, I need to make a large lid that's going to be the perfect size to go over the top of the globe. So let me show you how I do that. I'm just going to hot glue that all the way around. When I get to here, instead of wrapping it around the solar light, I'm actually gluing it to the rope itself. because again, I need a lid and I need it to be a lot larger than the solar light is itself. And this was just a scrap piece of rope. I actually just did whatever length I had on there and hoped for the best. Now it's time to try to figure out how to attach the dolphin to the solar light to have it kind of suspended up in the air. Has a wire on it. So I just took my Cricut weeder and poked a hole here in the top of my dolphin. And then I just have to try to figure out how to get the wire in there. I want it to be tight enough that I can kind of secure it in there without a whole lot of effort. So I'm just kind of straightening the wire out with a pair of pliers. And I put a little hot glue on the tip and I tried to just kind of stick that wire down inside that hole that we drilled in our dolphin to try to attach it. I found that the hot glue was not really necessary, but it was a little bit easier if I did it upside down like this. I just held the wire with pliers and stuck the dolphin right on there. Now I'm just testing to see if it is like the right height where it's jumping out of the water, that it's not too low or anything like that, and it looks good. Now I do a bead of hot glue around the outer edges of my rope lid. That way I can glue it to the jar itself and kind of mold it around that like globe shape, like a fishbowl. So I just kind of push that down on the sides, and look at that, my rope was the perfect size to make a new lid for the top of this. And then to bring a little bit more rope, I'm also using that Dollar Tree jute twine to decorate the candle holder down below, just to make it all kind of go together. Anytime you can use like rope, burlap, it's going to give you that coastal texture. It looks really great with coastal crafting. So I just wrap that around a few times until it looks good, hot gluing down my end. And that's all there is to it. This turned out so cute. I love the dolphin jumping. I'm just going to clean up the twine, burn off some of the fuzzies. My son is going to be home from college soon, and he is going to love this one. I just know it. So this is what the fishbowl looks like during the daytime. You can't really even tell that it's a solar light, right? The sea glass makes a really cute ocean. We have the dolphin jumping above and all lifted up on that candle holder to make it look a little bit more substantial. And this is what it looks like at night. Just like the sea glass from the Dollar Tree, that crushed glass looks really pretty lit up. And we have our little dolphin jumping, which is super whimsical and fun. And this was a really fun coastal solar light DIY as well. As you can see, you can even see like the dolphin fin and the reflection on that at night. Now, this almost feels like cheating. This was from Dollar Tree Plus for $5. They have a solar lantern. Look at it. It's perfect for coastal. It's white. It's distressed. It's got a battery in it that is charged by solar to light the candle inside the lantern. And so it just needs a few coastal touches. So I just have to figure out how to pop the lid off of this. I'm telling you, Dollar Tree Plus, I try to avoid it sometimes just because I'm like, you guys left nothing for me to do. But once you get a corner started on this, you can just pop that off. So try to be careful. I didn't want to break any of the plastic clips, and I don't want to mess with the wiring there from the solar part of it. I'm just going to make it look coastal by adding some Dollar Tree tan sand. It's kind of inevitable to get it in the candle. I'm just going to use my heat gun to blow the sand out. And I want my sand to be rather deep in this, so I'm going to add a little bit more. And then we're going to add sea treasures to that. I picked up some seashells from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add some starfish as well. These are kind of cool, you know, they look real. They have the plastic seashells at the Dollar Tree now too, which would totally work for this, but I kind of wanted real seashells for this one, so I'm just kind of standing them up. I made the sand pretty deep, so I can kind of stand the seashells up around wherever I want them to be. And I also want a little bit of variety in there, so I'm going to use some of the tiny shells as well. Kind of mix it up, different colors, different patterns. I don't want too many seashells in there, but I thought some of the larger mini starfish would be cute too. So I put one of those on each side and just make sure that I have enough seashells in there. Little starfish here on the other side. And how easy was that? Honestly, it really needs nothing. This lantern is perfect for $5. It is a bargain. I was so excited when I found this at Dollar Tree the other day. Yay! So here it is, our Dollar Tree solar lantern. Basically, it was $5. All I had to do was add some sand, seashells, a couple starfish, and it is the perfect coastal lantern for outdoors. Solar. It's going to light that cute little candle in there. It flickers really nicely. This is what it looks like lit up at night. As you can see, it's so pretty. And I would definitely add something to yours if you pick one up. Instead of just leaving it plain, I think it really makes it extra special. For this solar light DIY, I want to make a solar light lighthouse. So I'm going to use one of these spring vases they have from the Dollar Tree. It doesn't really matter which color you get because we are going to cover it up and make it look like a lighthouse. So I just removed the tags from that one. I've also used those to make the flower solar lights this year on my channel. I also got a jar lid from a mason jar and one of the little individual candle holders that come in a 4-pack for the little tea light candles from the Dollar Tree. We're going to combine all of these items together with a solar light to make a lighthouse. To cover the outside of it, I'm going to use some of the shelf liner from the Dollar Tree. It almost looks like pebbly stone, and I think that's going to work really well for the outside of this, and it's going to be a nice durable material that's going to hold up really well outside, I think. Now, it is shaped a little bit skinnier at the top, so I just tried to mold that around to make that work. And we're just going to simply hot glue the shelf liner to the vase itself. I did kind of avoid the lip of it a little bit there so that I can use that to attach everything I need for the top of my lighthouse. And I just use hot glue to wrap that as tightly around as I can, keeping to that shape of the bottle. And this worked out perfectly. This held up really well outside, this material. And I just overlap it slightly there. And then I can cut the bottom to make it the perfect size. Since I was kind of working with a skinnier at the top, larger at the bottom, I wasn't sure exactly how much I was going to need. But I still felt it was a little bit too large at the top. So I'm going to show you how I fixed that. I'm just going to cut another slit here and overlap it slightly here. So it will take the shape that I was looking for. And that seemed to work really well. So I just have another seam on it, but you can't really tell. Now, to make it look like a lighthouse, I wanted to add some fun decor to it, but I wanted things that would be durable, that would hold up well out in the weather. For the top of the lighthouse, I wanted the little section there for the light to sit on. And for that, I think a jar lid's going to work perfectly for that section. But again, I did want to decorate it a little bit. So I'm going to go in here with a black Sharpie. You could always use a paint pen as well, but I find that you have a little bit more control with a Sharpie. And I'm just going to draw on some simple art-shaped windows here for our lighthouse, just to add a little bit of fun. That shelf liner was really easy to draw on and worked perfectly, especially when you're working with a dark color like black like that. Now to add this to the top, that's going to cover up the yellow glass that you can see there, so I think that will work well. I do want to weigh it down as well because this is going to be outside. I don't want it to fall over and break. And so I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree pebbles and fill up the bottom just to weigh that down before I start to put this DIY together. Now I think we can do the jar lid. I'm going to use some stronger glue for this. I really want it to hold up well. So I'm going to use some super glue from the Dollar Tree. It's actually the cement, I guess it's called, the multi-purpose cement. And I glue that metal to glass on there, hoping that's going to stay durable. I put it down like that so it wouldn't catch any water. And then I'm going to put the little glass votive candle holder on top of that. That is going to light up. So it's not going to have a candle or anything in it. I'm going to use that multi-purpose cement for that as well. Glass to metal, I want it to be super strong. But I also put a little hot glue in the center just to hold it on for right now, just to help. get it exactly where I need it to be. I center it right there on the jar lid. And you could really use anything for the jar lid, just something that was circular that you could fit into this. And then I put some more of that glue along the top, and we're just going to glue the top of a Dollar Tree solar light here to the top. The silver finish is perfect for this. And look how that is just the right size for that little votive candle holder and for the lighthouse in general. I just line that up how I like it and let that glue start to set up. And this really did turn out really durable using that Dollar Tree multi-purpose cement glue. You could always use some E6000 or some Gorilla Glue Clear Grip as well. Those work really well if you want to get some adhesive that's not from the Dollar Tree. Now, I did want it to look like it had a fishing net on it, but I also wanted something durable to hold up outside. To do that, I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree rug liner. This is that stuff that you put like underneath your rugs so they don't move around, but look how it looks kind of like netting. And it's going to be super durable. So I want that to be draped down around the lighthouse. So I'm just going to cut out like a little rectangular piece here and kind of arrange it how I want it to drape down the side of the lighthouse. I think something like that would be cool. And I could add some seashells and stuff to it as well. But I don't want to cover up the entire lighthouse. So I start here at the jar lid and attach that shelf liner. I can always trim off any excess material that I don't need. And I'm going to have it kind of drape around. So I just glue this to the back seam where I had the shelf liner back here and cut off the excess netting back here. And this actually worked out pretty well for a fishing net. I'm always trying to find different ways to make fishing net, especially from Dollar Tree products. And then I only have it visible on one side of the lighthouse. I'm going to glue it here to the front so it'll kind of drape down like that. And trim it up a little bit more there on the bottom so it doesn't overlap the ground too much. I think that looks pretty good. And I do want to decorate it as well with some fun little items. These are some little tiny seashells from my collection. Some of these are from Dollar Tree. Some of these are probably from the beach. And I'm just going to glue some small ones here coming down the net. And I just use hot glue to attach these, and they seem to hold up just fine. I wanted a little bit of variety with the different seashells on there. And here it is, our little solar light lighthouse. It doesn't have a lot of frilly things on it, but I think that works great for an outdoor DIY like this. And I've made this previously on my channel. I've had this outside for quite a while, and it's held up really well. A fun idea for a solar light lighthouse. A little bit different take on it than just stacking the pots that you see for lighthouses. I like those DIYs. I can't really find pots from the Dollar Tree that I can seem to do that with, but I kind of like the more streamlined shape of the lighthouse like this. And the solar light at the top is perfect for kind of a coastal or nautical feel for your front porch for summer. Isn't that so cute? I really hope you enjoyed these 20 solar light Dollar Tree DIYs. I had so much fun putting this video together for you and crafting all of these new DIYs. Please let me know which one was your favorite down in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my second channel, Crafty Little Beach, if you like watching clips on your phone. Enjoy the final reveal.
Just like a dream, you and I standing wild and free, with petals so golden, the sun's warm kiss, a love so strong, a bliss. Whispers of the breeze, secrets unfold. It's you that I need, it's you that I want. When the world gets cold, it's you and me. When the sun comes back, you'll see. Oh, dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on through the toughest of times. We still stand strong through pain. dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on through the toughest of times. We still stand strong. Through pavement we will grow. Oh, dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on through the toughest of times. We still stand strong. Through pavement we will grow. Forever we will grow. Forever we will grow. 1, 2, 3. Remember when you told me that I should take it slow, but I can't stay when the world is waiting. I'm too used to being on my own. Hearts will break, but I have to chase it. I'm dancing on the edge again. The wind is calling my name. I'm dancing on the edge again. This time I'm not looking back, babe. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll leave echoes in every place I find. I'll break the molds with rebels mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. I remember when you told me I should settle down, but these restless feet won't keep me grounded. The open road's the only place I found where I feel alive, and the stars will guide me. I'm dancing on the edge again. The wind is calling my name. I'm dancing on the edge again. This time I'm not looking back, babe. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll leave echoes in every place I find. I'll break the molds with rebels mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. A free-born mind. A free-born mind. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be echoes in every place I find. I break the molds with rebels mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be echoes in every place I find. I break the molds with rebels mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. You can change me, you can tell me down. I'll be echoes in every place I find. I break the molds with rebels mind. I'm a hurricane, a free-born mind. Looking for my mother's eyes as I'm staying close to the mirror. A lock of gold, a secret smile, little things I remember. Place a hand upon my heart as her, she was a believer. Sometimes I can feel her arms holding me as forever. Time changes everything, and everything will change in time. Love changes every heart, and any heart can change you. I see in you my mother's eyes, and I lay your head to my shoulder. A lock of gold, a secret smile. I will tell you when you get older. I place a hand upon your heart. Every beat is taking me over, and I will hold you in my arms. Pretend we'll stay here forever. Time changes everything, and everything will change in time. Love changes every heart, and any heart can change you. Je call, I fall. There's a legacy between us. We grow, we go, but in the middle, time changes everything, and everything will change in time. Love changes every heart, and any heart can change you. Looking for my mother's eyes as I'm staying close to the mirror.
I don't know where she came from. Kinda turned me upside down. I just don't know what to do. I wanna spend the night at hers and bring her one of my t-shirts so it smells like her perfume. Now I really get what the love songs are talking about, and I just wanna tell her how I feel, scream it out loud. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love. There's something about the way she laughs and the way she always dances when she thinks nobody sees. And when she's gone, I miss her so. I tell her, baby, please don't go. I think you should stay with me. And I really get what the love songs are talking about. Oh, and I just wanna tell her how I feel, scream it out loud. Have you ever been in love? Have you ever lost your head? Have you felt like you were out of breath when you saw her in that dress? When your heart is beating fast and you're sweating and you can't stop looking at her smile, then you've been in love. That's how you know you've been in love. I don't know where she came from. It kinda turned me upside down. I just don't know what to do.
Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of today's video. That always helps my channel. And thank you so much to my YouTube members for supporting me. Thank you to Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Tracy Knight, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Donna Schreiner, I Am Mojo Jojo, Marin Christensen, Adrian Brolt, Debbie Middleton, Donna Tanner, Kim Rogers, Maria Cruz Pagan, and Sarah Tratner. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to become a Crafty Beach Bum member, all you have to do is hit the join button next to today's video. You're going to get early ad-free access to my content here on YouTube, a badge next to your name when you comment down below, and a shout out in every video. I would also love to see what you've been crafting. Be sure to share your DIYs with the rest of us at our private Facebook group, the Crafty Beach Bums. I always have it linked in the description of the videos, and you can also check out my Amazon shop if you need some crafting supplies. Now, would you like some more Dollar Tree DIYs? Be sure to check out one of these solar light DIY videos right here for some more crafting inspiration. And until next time, happy crafting!